and they are truly an agency that cares. So, yep. Thank you to them for sponsoring the second hour of News and Views on Salam Media. And every year, without fail, on this day around this time, we speak we speak about World Retina Week, and it seems as if I have a date every year this time with Claudette Medefindt, head of Science Retina South Africa. And the reason why we speak about this matter every year without fail is simply because we have, sad to say, people who've not been exposed to Retina South Africa in the past, if they have problems with their retinas, people that have been newly diagnosed, families that have been newly diagnosed, and of course, they would not have perhaps come across our interviews with Retina South Africa. So, with that in mind, we do have these awareness days, talks every year without fail, not only with Retina South Africa, but other groups as well. So it is obviously about public awareness and humanitarian journalism. So a very good morning to you and welcome, Claudette Medefindt, Head of Science, Retina South Africa. Lovely to be talking with you again a year later.
Absolutely. It seems like we are old friends. And
Absolutely,
as
we
indeed
are.
we are.
We are, and not forgetting, I have no doubt in my mind that one of our other old friends is tuned in this morning because he, in fact, sent me a reminder as well. And that is, of course, Abu Bakr Karwa, based in Ladysmith. He makes certain that we are aware of World Retina Day. So, Abu, salamu alaikum to you. I'm sure you are tuned in, and I hope you're doing well. And I think, Claudette, you know him as well.
Absolutely. And he's one of our stalwart supporters. And I wish we had another 1,000 like him.
Absolutely. Not only regarding issues around health and retina awareness, but is also quite a social activist regarding other social and political issues as well. So we salute you, Abu Bakr Karwa. I'm more than certain you tuned in this morning. So let's kick off then. Claudette, World Retina Week is observed in over 45 countries globally and runs from the 21st to the 28th of September. This is followed by Eye Care Awareness Month that runs up to the 18th of October. So you're here to talk to us and break this down for us in detail and understand the importance of why World Retina Week. A very good morning to you. Welcome. Lovely to be talking to you once again. So over to you.
Well, we've also got some good news about some free services for your listeners. So that
Wow.
is something that's new this year. So we're very excited to say that we need to create awareness about vision health. And somebody said to me the other day, but why? We all know that we've got vision, we've got eyes, and that we need to look after our vision. But as I said to that person, how often do you go to the dentist? You go to the dentist to have your teeth checked at least twice a year. You probably go to your GP to get your vitals checked at least once a year. How often do you actually go and get your eyes checked? Probably never. So, what we're saying is, as a child going to school, before they go to school, they should at least have a basic test. And the good news is that VisionWorks are offering free comprehensive test for children 6 to 12, which includes if they need some simple frames and single lenses. All people need to do is go to www.vision-works.co.za and look up where is their closest VisionWorks practice and go and have their children's eye test. So that's really good. And for the rest of the country, VisionWorks are also offering free basic screening. So all you have to do is go to that same website address, find out where your closest VisionWorks is, and tell them, please book. Don't roll up. You can have a free eye test, and it's basic. It's a basic screening. Also, if you don't have a VisionWorks close to you, You can go to the South African Optometric Association at info at saoa.co.za and find out where your closest store is, and again, book for a basic free screening. And that's important because, very many of these eye conditions are silent stealers of vision. They steal your sight silently and quietly without you even being aware of it. For example, glaucoma, where you have a build-up of pressure in the orbit, in the eye. That pressure can actually lead to permanent and irreversible retinal damage. And that is so easily detected by a little puff of air into the eye, and then you can go onto medication. But what's important to know is that if you don't have that test done, by the time you realize that there's vision loss, it's often too late. Cataracts. Cataracts, we're very vulnerable to cataracts in this country because of our high UVA and UVB. And also, if you go and have a check, they'll pick up if you've got cataracts and refer you to an eye specialist who can then do the cataract removal. So there are many things. Diabetic retinopathy. Oh, that's a story that we've got to do once again, all on its own, because it's huge. South Africa has one of the highest incidences of diabetes in the world. And of those people who have diabetes, 20% will develop vision loss. Again, minute changes in the tiny blood vessels on the periphery, on the outside of the eye. Those can happen up to 10 years before your sugar levels even increase. So we want to say, if you take a piece of string, everybody, measure your height from your toes to your head, top of your head, fold that piece of string in half and measure your waist. If your waist is more than half your height, you are in serious trouble and you are likely to develop diabetes. And then please go and have a free screening. These optometrists have got what we call fundus cameras, and they will take a photograph of the back of your eye and pick up even very small changes in those small blood vessels. Before you're even aware of any vision loss, they can pick it up. And then you contact Retina South Africa, and we will make sure that we get you to improve your lifestyle. So that's what we're doing for World Retina Week, because we need to know what the state of our retina is. And people always say, well, we don't know how the retina works, so we ignore it. Well, everybody's got a smartphone these days. When you point your smartphone at an object, you take a picture, the light enters your phone, it goes to the microchip, which is in the phone, converts that light into a picture, which then is sent to your photo file where it's stored. Well, that's exactly how the retina works. The light enters the eye through the front of the eye, the cornea, it goes through the lens, through the vitreous, and it strikes the photoreceptors at the back of the eye that change those light photons into neural images and neural messages, which are sent via the neural layers, via the optic nerve to the brain, which is where you see. And that all happens in an absolute flash of the eye. And if you have a retinal degeneration, you need to see somebody urgently, and then, of course, contact Retina South Africa.
Okay, so Claudette Medefindt, you head of Science Retina South Africa. Who is Retina South Africa and what's your sole purpose?
Retina South Africa is a patient-led organization that represents over almost 1 million people with retinal vision loss. And we've explained the retina, so everybody knows now how it works. We are a patient-led organization. We create awareness, we advocate for better services, and we are also raising money for research because a lot of these retinal conditions, particularly the genetic ones where you inherit a mistake from parents, either recessively or dominantly or X-linked, and this code, a DNA is, of course, just a code, like a computer code runs your computer. Your DNA runs every cell of your body telling it how to produce certain proteins and how to reproduce those proteins. So if there's a mistake in the code of your computer won't run. And exactly the same things happens if you have a mistake in your genes, in the DNA, the code of life. If there's a tiny error, it can accumulate, produce toxic proteins. And in this case, we're talking about the retina at the back of the eye, and you can start to lose vision. And the good news is that there's so much research going on into what is happening in the retina and how can we fix it. So we want to encourage every single listener and viewer that have a genetic retinal condition to please contact Retina South Africa, because we can facilitate genetic testing to identify the precise mistake in the code and make sure that when these clinical trials, which are happening right now, and even these treatments that are imminent, that you will be eligible to participate. For example, we know that Stargardt's is a condition that robs people of their central vision, and it's genetically inherited, and it affects almost 15,000 young people in this country from all communities. It's a great leveler. We have no color boundaries, no faith boundaries. With genetic mistakes, the genes don't respond to where you live or what you do. They can happen in every family. And then what we do is we can get a genetic diagnosis. For example, there is a clinical trial that's on the go at the moment, and it's called Dragon. I don't know why, but it is to study the effect of a drug that will slow down the build-up of a toxic product in the retina to make sure that people don't lose their vision to Stargardt's disease. This
Okay,
dragon,
Claudette, sorry, I need to interrupt you. We're going to have to wrap up in a minute or two. And I know you spoke about glaucoma a minute or so ago, but a listener has called in to ask if you could talk a little bit about glaucoma, and then we'll have to wrap up. I know you did
sure.
mention it in passing, but if you could just, for the benefit of this listener.
Sure. Glaucoma can be inherited, but it can also just occur spontaneously. It's a build-up of pressure in the vitreous. Either your vitreous is making too much liquid or it's draining away too slowly. And it's like a soccer ball. If you keep inflating it, it's going to lose its shape. And in this case, the vitreous loses its shape and it starts pushing on the neural layer at the back and doing irreversible harm and damage. So if you've got glaucoma, you need in your family, you need to go, and in fact, over the age of 40, you need to go and have your pressures tested every year. So I would just like to say that if people want to contact us, they can please contact us via our website, which is www.retinasa.org.za, or they can call us on 011 450 1181, and we will make sure people get the right advice. So please
Okay,
have your eyes tested. Love your
okay, fine.
eyes. Test your eyes
Just to wrap up, glaucoma is pressure on the eyes, very much like high blood pressure, but it's pressure on the eyes. Is that right?
in the
Would I
eye.
in
In
the
the
eye?
eye.
Okay, in the eye. Okay. Finally, how can listeners help Retina South Africa? Because you guys are doing a brilliant job for the population at large, but we need to give back. How can we help you?
Please download the Willies app. Go to My Difference. Nominate Retina South Africa as your beneficiary. And at no charge to you, we will get a small donation from them every time you swipe your card. And go to our website. We have got a Section 18A certification for people who want to give us a donation. They will get a tax deduction. And who doesn't want a tax deduction?
Wonderful talking to you once again, Claudette. You stay well. God keep you in his gentle care. And I'll talk with you again next year, this time, God willing.
Thank you very
Lovely,
much. So,
lovely to be
Salam.
chatting.
Thank
Walaikum
you very
salam.
much.
Absolute pleasure. That was Claudette Medefindt, Head of Science, Retina South Africa, talking to us about World Retina Day, which brings us up to 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Do stay with us. We have next Tebogo Haas, founder and chairperson of Public Interest South Africa, and we're going to be talking about Makonazi testifying on the criminal syndicate capture. So quite, I think, important interview there. I think we as South Africans need to truly understand what's going down in our justice system.